Back in 2015, my 3 children and I moved into a rented house in Mobile County, Alabama. At first, it felt normal, safe, like any other home. But that didn't last, not for long. The first year went by without anything unusual. No signs, no warnings, nothing. Then, the small things began. A tapping sound on the windows, late at night, soft, almost intentional. Items would go missing, only to show up later in places I know I didn't leave them. At first, I ignored it, told myself it was nothing, just the house settling, just my imagination. But deep down, I knew better. Then, one night, I heard it. My phone hitting the floor, hard. Not falling, not slipping, thrown. I froze, listened. Silence. I picked it up, set it back where it was. A few minutes later, it happened again. This time, I didn't move, because I already knew no one else was there. And somehow, I wasn't afraid. There was no anger, no darkness, just something else. A presence, watching, waiting. I kept it to myself, at least at first, until my daughter came to me one night, annoyed, not scared. "Why do you keep opening my door?" I remember staring at her, confused. She said she closed it more than once, and every time she turned around, it would slowly open again. Not all the way, just enough. Enough to make you notice, enough to make you feel like you weren't alone. That's when I told her everything, and strangely, she stayed calm. I told her, if you feel uncomfortable, just ask it to leave. Not long after, my son had his own experience. I tucked him into bed and walked away. A few minutes later, I heard him talking. "What?" Pause. "Come in." Another pause, then he came to me. "Someone's tapping on my window." Not the door, the window. I checked outside. Nothing. No trees, no branches. No explanation. At that point, I knew. This wasn't random. It was aware of us. We didn't provoke it, didn't talk about it much, and eventually, things went quiet again. Until Baxter. He was a small Yorkie, 3 years old, gentle, playful, the kind of dog that never scared easily. One night, we were sitting on the couch watching a movie. He was asleep beside me, completely relaxed. Then, suddenly, his head snapped up, fast, sharp. His eyes locked on the wall in front of us, a blank wall. At first, I thought he heard something, but he didn't move, didn't blink. He just stared. Minutes passed. Then his body started shaking. Every hair on his back stood up. And then, the growl. Low, deep, wrong. I didn't move, because I knew something was there. He jumped off the couch and stood between me and that wall, protecting me. He stepped forward, barking, then slowly backed up, never taking his eyes off it. Never. He jumped back onto my lap, shaking violently. I tried to calm him, but every touch made him flinch, like fear had taken over his body. Then, suddenly, he ran, straight into the kitchen, growling the entire way. He stopped right before the doorway, the same direction he had been staring at. I could hear his nails clicking against the floor, slow, careful. He was moving towards something. Then, silence. Complete silence. And then, a scream. A sharp, piercing yelp. He came running back full speed and jumped onto me, terrified, shaking. I have never seen fear like that in any animal. That night, I searched everything, every room, every corner. Nothing. The next morning, I stood in the middle of that house and I said it. Calm, clear. You are not welcome here. You need to leave. And just like that, it stopped. No more sounds, no more movement, no more presence. To this day, I don't know what was in that house, but I know this. Baxter saw something I couldn't. And whatever it was real.